What's up, all my Ewoks, tribbles, and droids? It's Anna, also known as that Star Wars girl, and today I'm going to be talking about the Walt Disney Company. So, some big news dropped yesterday. Bob Iger, the CEO of Disney, has announced that he is stepping down early because his contract isn't up until December 31st, 2021. But he is taking a step back. He's no longer going to be CEO, and he's just going to go and be in charge of the creative aspect of the Walt Disney Company, and they are bringing in Bob Chapek, yes, another Bob, to be the new CEO of Disney. Now, this is a big shock to everyone because out of all of the names in the running, he was one of them, but he wasn't the top one, and they've been kind of focusing on other players in the game. He was mentioned, however, in Bob Iger's book, but it was never really hinted that he was the main one that was up for the job. So it came as a surprise for everyone. The internet kind of lost their minds last night, but Disney did release a statement, so let's go check it out. Bob Chapek named Chief Executive Officer of the Walt Disney Company. Robert A. Iger assumes the role of Executive Chairman through 2021. Mr. Iger will direct the company's creative endeavors. Mr. Chapek brings 27 years of successful leadership experience across Disney's parks, consumer products, and studio businesses. Burbank, California, February 25th, 2020. The Walt Disney Company Board of Directors announced today that Bob Chapek has been named Chief Executive Officer. The Walt Disney Company, effective immediately. Mr. Chapek most recently served as Chairman of Disney Parks, Experiences, and Products. Robert A. Iger assumes the role of Executive Chairman and will direct the company's creative endeavors, while leading the board and providing the full benefit of his experience, leadership, and guidance to ensure a smooth and successful transition through the end of his contract on December 31st, 2021. With the successful launch of Disney's direct-to-consumer businesses and the integration of 21st Century Fox well underway, I believe this is the optimal time to transition to a new CEO, Mr. Iger said. I have the utmost confidence in Bob and look forward to working closely with him over the next 22 months as he assumes this new role and delves deeper into Disney's multifaceted global businesses and operations while I continue to focus on the company's creative endeavors. Mr. Iger added, Bob will be the seventh CEO in Disney's nearly 100-year history, and he has proven himself exceptionally qualified to lead the company into its next century. Throughout his career, Bob has led with integrity and conviction, always respecting Disney's rich legacy while at the same time taking smart, innovative risks for the future. His success over the past 27 years reflects his visionary leadership and strong business growth and stellar results he has consistently achieved in his role at Parks, Consumer Products, and the studio. Under Bob's leadership as CEO, our portfolio of great businesses and our amazing and talented people will continue to serve the company and its shareholders well for years to come. I know that's a lot of information to take in all at once, but let me summarize it and interpret it the way that I perceive it based on the information provided. So Bob Iger is going to spend his last year out of 45 years with Disney stepping away from the business aspect of things and focusing on the creative. Now, looking at everything that has happened the past few years, specifically the past 5 years, and we can see what happened with Star Wars. Obviously, people at Disney are aware of the culture war. They all have phones, they all have computers, they all, can tap into the internet, and just because there are things that they might not necessarily like and feedback that they have received on their films doesn't mean they are not aware of it. One day, Solo is coming out, then Solo fails. Solo loses money. All the information that we all saw, that people covered on YouTube, people at Disney saw that too. They saw all the articles. They know about how Kathleen Kennedy, the movie got 80% made and then they had to reshoot it. The movie lost, millions of dollars. Directors are getting fired left and right. Then Bob Iger comes out and announces, maybe the reason why it failed is because you guys have you have Star Wars fatigue. Let's take a step back. We're not going to make movies for a while. Then the next day, Kathleen Kennedy is coming out saying, we're making new Star Wars movies, guys. And so there's a very big disconnect. They are aware of that. They see it just as much as we do. Just because they might not like the way that certain people are, reporting on the issue doesn't mean that they are not aware of it. The fact that Bob Iger had to, and the Disney company had to make this announcement that he is stepping back from the business aspect of things to focus on creative aspects of it and creative planning for the future, even more confirms everything that we have been saying here on YouTube, whether it be here on my channel or on other channels as well. It just is, for their confirmation that they are aware of the issue and the social war that is going on right now. Now, I did some digging. There have been, and I think the best place to get information is not just from statements, but it's better to get it directly from the source and to see the way that people speak about things. So I like to watch interviews of people. I found a very good interview by CSNBC. So I'm going, and the link for this full interview will be in the description of this video, but I've pulled out certain highlights from this interview with Bob Iger and Bob Chapek that I think are very important. So you can see the way that Bob Iger speaks about him taking a step back to focus on the creative side, which I think confirms the entire fact of him. He's got to take a step back from the business aspect of it to focus on fixing the creative aspect of Disney, fixing animation, fixing something like Lucasfilm, fixing the problem that now is coming up with Marvel, and even how they announced that Kevin Feige is going to be doing a Star Wars movie, even though a few months ago Bob Iger announced there's not going to be any Star Wars movies for a while because of Star Wars fatigue, but now all of a sudden we're getting another Star Wars movie. It's starting to sound like a broken record, and they do need somebody to come in and fix it. The fact that Bob Iger is having to take a step back in his last year in the job and go and fix a problem that somebody else created is a huge red flag, but at least they are making attempts to fix it. So like I said, let's look at this little clip of Bob Iger confirming it.
We looked at the businesses. We felt we have a great set of assets. We have a great strategy. What's next? And what was next in terms of my own priorities is making sure that the creative pipeline of the company was really rich, that all of our creative engines were working extremely well. And I wanted to spend more and more of my time on that. But the only way that I was able to do that was to give up the day-to-day running of the company, to pass the torch on to Bob, so that my direct reports and the authority over our businesses will shift to him, freeing me up to do what I think is our next big priority.
So, as you can see, he basically confirms it. He says that he needs to take a step back to focus on the creative side to set things up for the next CEO. And obviously there's going to be some mentorship going on. They do usually have to make a little leeway for the transition period when a new boss is taking over. And so it's going to be convenient, Bob, the new Bob even confirms that in the rest of the interview, which again, if you want to watch the entire thing, is linked below. It's a very good interview, and if you want to get information directly from these, like the mouths of these sources, it's I think that's the best way to do, is to watch actual interviews of people, not just reading articles on it. When it comes directly from a person's mouth, I think that's the most viable source of information. But just the fact that Bob Iger says that he needs to take a step back and focus on the creative aspect moving forward to set the company up for the future just further confirms everything that all of us here on YouTube have been saying, all of us in the Fandom Menace have been reporting on. The fact that the creative aspect of things are so phenomenally messed up with all the culture wars that have been going on and the virtue signaling that Bob Iger, he wants to go out with a bang, and he wants to make sure that the company is set up for the future. So because of the shit show that Kathleen Kennedy created with Star Wars, Bob Iger has to spend the last year of his time with the Walt Disney Company fixing up the mess that she created. And you know what's funny is she's been going on preaching, oh yeah, women good, we need women in Star Wars, yet it's going to be a man that has to come and clean up the mess that she created. Well, That's my 2 cents on the news that's been going around with this whole entire topic and Bob Iger stepping down. I need to do more digging on Bob Chapek before I really report on him, but that's just my 2 cents on the situation that's been going down. Let me know what you think in the comments below, if you agree with me on this entire little thing. But I know it's a lot of information to take in, and we're only going to be learning more and more information is going to be coming out as, you know, the months progress and as we get closer to Bob Iger leaving the company. With that being said, everyone, if you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, that's okay too. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. Make sure you click that little bell. That way you get notifications when I do other videos and live streams. And until next time, everyone, have a great rest of your day. And may the force be with you, because we are really, really, really going to need it. Bye, everyone. What's up, everyone? It's Anna, also known as That Star Wars Girl, and I have an Etsy store, so if you've ever wanted to own a print of my artwork, this is the place to go. As you can see, I have a lot of recognizable characters, from horror films to heroes to Star Wars characters. Some of the notable characters I have on here are Darth Vader, which I did a couple live streams painting, so you can own a print of this painting. I also have Luke Skywalker, the Binary Sunset version, one of my favorite scenes in the original New Hope movie. I have Darth Maul, which Ray Parks himself actually complimented me on Instagram. And then last but certainly not least, Ahsoka Tano. So if you want to own any of these prints, go right on over to my Etsy store. Again, that's The Art of Anna, That Star Wars Girl, or TSWG for short. Thank you, everyone, and have a great rest of your day. What's up, everyone? I have a P.O. box, so if you want to send me some mail, go ahead and send it to Anna, That Star Wars Girl, or TSWG for short, at P.O. Box number 28171, Santa Ana, California, 927998171. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you so much.